News is doing it again. Fox News is celebrating the fact that Hamburger Helper sales are surging because Americans are watching their spending as the economy is basically starting to collapse. Think about what that really means, guys. It means Americans are struggling to afford real food. It means families are having to stretch every dollar buying processed boxed meals because Trump's mishandling of the economy has caused groceries to become more and more expensive. Watch this video.
Last but not least, one trend and true brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales.
And here's the part they won't say. This is happening under the same economic policies they praise every single day. Tariffs that drive up food costs, tax cuts that never trickle down, wages that still can't keep up with inflation. So when they turn struggle into cheerful news stories, they're not celebrating strength. They're masking suffering. This is not a sign of a healthy economy. It's a sign of how out of touch Fox News and MAGA Republicans have become.
People are buying a lot more Hamburger Helper, and that is a sign that the economy is not doing well. In the 1970s, Hamburger Helper really became a popular American dining option because it allowed people during difficult economic times to really stretch a pound of beef into a much larger meal at an affordable price point. Hamburger Helper was introduced in 1971 with only 5 flavors available at the time. And over the course of that time, it has really become sort of an economics indicator and a signal of troubling economic times. In 1971, many Americans were dealing with some of the same economic factors like soaring inflation and the cost of food rising consistently. Over the past 5 decades, what's happened then is that patterns have emerged specific to this and other products similar to it. Some examples of that. The 2008 financial crisis, Hamburger Helper surged. During the pandemic, Hamburger Helper surged. And so it's sort of an economic indicator that tells us that something is not quite right. Because, for example, during better economic times, people do things like buy more premium quality meats, or they buy and go out to eat more frequently. So we are essentially in the third wave of the Hamburger Helper economy right now. Through August, sales have surged 14.5%. That's a massive increase in sales. In economic textbooks, there is a theory that explains this quite well. It's called the inferior goods theory. There are products which people buy more of as their income falls, and Hamburger Helper is one of these examples. It's a textbook case of this. And again, another one you might be familiar with is ramen noodles. And this is not a criticism or critique of Hamburger Helper, but it is and does reflect an economic reality, is that as people have less money, their options to the choice of food they have becomes constrained. But this economic indicator also tells us that, for example, when people are constrained in their purchasing power, they're less able to do things like purchase fresh fruits and vegetables and rely more on high sodium items that are processed. This also contributes to things like health problems, which furthers the cycle. The point here is, if you were to look at traditional economic indicators like the stock market is doing very, very well right now and continues to break records time after time again. But it is less for most Americans about the stock market and more about what is in stock at the grocery store and what is flying off the shelves. And right now, by 14.5%, Hamburger Helper is soaring. And that probably means our economy is not.
And last but not least, one trend and true brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales. Harris, I grew up on the cheeseburger Hamburger Helper, and it was very good with the extra cheese sprinkled on top.
So my mom used...
This isn't satire, but it really does feel like the let them eat cake moment of our time. People can't afford groceries. Millions of people are getting notified that their healthcare premiums are significantly increasing next year, which will reduce their grocery budget even more. We cut nearly $200 billion from SNAP, the Nutrition Assistance Program, and gutted programs that supported food banks. And Fox News is out here reframing that reality as a big comeback for Hamburger Helper. The reason the MAHA movement has always been so dangerous is that they talk about the things we all want. We all want to see lower chronic disease rates, especially for our kids. We all want less environmental pollution. We all want a better food system. We all want to make America healthy. But that movement aligned with a political party that had no interest in improving any of those things, and it has served as a distraction where they can keep posting about Maha wins like a company swapping the color additive in Swedish Fish, or Coca-Cola adding a new option of Coke with cane sugar to their product line, while this administration enacts actual policies that are directly making Americans less healthy. Let them eat Hamburger Helper.
Great stuff. Fox proudly reported on the food of champions to distract viewers from the high cost of beef.
One trend in True Brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales.
Did you see how happy she was to report on the increase in sales of Hamburger Helper? I understand it's the meal of choice in maggot trailer parks and in the Waffle House, but the increase of sales of Hamburger Helper isn't a good thing. It means Americans are resorting to eating what maggots eat. Shit. Kaylee is reporting on a bad sign of scarcity in the felon's new golden age of America, and she's acting like Hamburger Helper is the go-to meal for Christmas dinner.
It's one trend in True Brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales.
She has that smug look on her face because she thinks it's funny. And not that I expected any better from Fox News, but the fact that they're reporting on this as if it's some big win for America is ridiculous. Hamburger Helper seeing a surge in sales is not a good thing. For the company, sure. But this is a clear indicator that more and more people are struggling to afford fresh groceries, so they have to tighten their wallets and resort to Hamburger Helper. I understand that financial struggle. I was living off of Hamburger Helper and ramen noodles throughout college and shortly after graduating. But this is not some trend. This is not something that people are just doing because it's cute and cool, all while her coworker is sitting back there talking about, knowing damn well she's not eating Hamburger Helper at home. They will say and do anything except for hold the person, the people who put us in this predicament, accountable. I give it another year or so before they start trying to convince us that we should limit our food intake to 1 meal a day. Probably going to frame it as part of their Maha agenda. Just like earlier this year when they said people should give their children one doll for Christmas. Do you think that they are limiting the things they buy and the foods they eat? Exactly.
Apparently Americans under Trump are winning so much that sales of cheap meal kits like Hamburger Helper are soaring because no one can afford anything. So sorry to state the obvious for my American viewers, but I'm British and I had no idea what this was, so for my non-American viewers, Hamburger Helper is this thing from the 1970s where if you have some ground beef, you can buy this kit that has dry pasta, seasonings, instructions, etc. You just add some water and milk, put it all together, and you end up with what's on the box here, essentially like a meat pasta-y kind of dish. 70s in America from when meat was getting too expensive, and it's kind of designed to help you stretch your supplies of food a little bit further. It's actually designed to be sort of cheap food. Some people have called it like a struggle meal. Personally, don't judge. I've heard some people like it. It's up to them. The fact that American citizens are now flocking to Hamburger Helper and other such cheap, economical brands really says something about how much they're supposedly winning in the Trump economy. People are opting for cheap meal alternatives. What does that say about how they're doing in this economy? What does that say about food prices, and what does that say about living in an America that is run by and for billionaires? While Trump is busy tearing down the East Wing, pardoning scumbags, urgently getting ready to pardon even more scumbags, top of, paying out billions of dollars to Argentina and getting ready to demand hundreds of millions of dollars from the taxpayer for himself, seems very much like your average American is struggling to make ends meet. Why else would you suddenly see a surge in a brand like Hamburger Helper? A product that is designed and generally associated with people who are economically struggling. Don't call that winning. Go for more.
You're not gonna believe this, guys. You're not gonna believe this. Alright, so this speaking segment from Fox News by Tommy Lauren. I'm so freaking heated. Okay, they're talking about a segment where they're like Hamburger Helper is coming back as a staple in American households, like it's some freaking nostalgia trend, dude.
At least one trend in True Brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing
Shut up! These bitches would not shut the hell up about grocery prices, about the price of everything, about the economy, the whole entirety of the Biden administration. And now that Trump has fucked everyone up so badly that people can't afford groceries anymore, like for real now. Now people are going back to getting Hamburger Helper because that's all that they could freaking afford. This girl has a little smile on her face. This coming back to the households because people are broke, and you're reporting it with the smile on your face. You girls are demons. The girls at Fox News, MAGA propaganda. You guys are demons. Like, so hypocritical. I don't even have words for it. If it was the Biden administration, this whole segment would be America is done, America is over. But no, you get to say it with a little smile on your face, with your little blonde hair, your little freaking MAGA makeup, Mar-a-Lago face, and be like, oh, the Hamburger Helper is coming back as an American staple, as these bitches are broke, and Trump is building a ballroom but it's gonna be bigger than the White House. It's giving let them eat cake, and people should be mad. I don't know why you guys are not mad.
Thanks for clicking to watch today's video. And so it's wild how media can turn, a struggling meal into a feel-good story. And this happened while one of the anchors in Fox News praised Hamburger Helper as if it was a symbol of American strength. Yet it's something that, the poor people are surviving, and also, in fact, it's generally eaten by so many of the Americans right now because of the inflation crisis. So guys, so many Americans have reacted to it, and that's why I've prepared this compilation for you. We do not own the rights of this video. They belong to the original owners of the video. So let's dive in.
MAGA, I know ain't no way you gonna let Trump and Fox News play in your face like this.
And last but not least, one trend and true brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales.
Fox News is literally trying to convince people that Hamburger Helper is making a comeback because people are making the decision to tighten their belts without just calling it what it is. It's the Trump effect. Donald Trump has massively hurt our economy, our trade deals, our allyship, our environment, our education system, every single factor of American life. Now it seems like MAGA is starting to finally feel it, and they're trying to help them out by giving them some ideas of some struggle meals. Listen, MAGA, I normally don't do this, but as a black man who knows all about struggle meals, I got you. MAGA, if you head down to your local Walmart, you can get you a 4-pack of Vienna sausages for only $3.52. While you're there, you can pick up a 6-pack of sardines for only $6.72. Can't forget this hood classic top ramen, the chicken or the beef. Now it's 90 cents. This has gone up because they used to be like 50 cents a pack. But MAGA, if you really want to treat yourself, then you can get you a 4-pack of potted meat for only $3.44. For those saying, Santana, what the hell is potted meat? Or potty meat like my grandma used to call it. It's literally this. Ground or pureed cooked meat, fat, and spices typically sold in a can. They just take whatever type of meats that they can find, grind it up, add some spice, put it in a can, and then you eat it. MAGA, I'm only trying to help you out because I know my palm color partners don't do too well when things get tight. Black people have the ability to actually quote unquote tighten our belts and stick it out. But those of the lighter hue tend to actually kind of go off the deep end. So drop it in the chat. MAGA needs more ideas for struggle meals. Make sure we help them out. Make sure we help them during this Trump effect that everyone has to deal with.
And last but not least, one trend and true brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales.
This is so tone deaf. This is just like, hey, investors, look, the peasants, they're not able to afford avocado toast anymore. Quickly, invest in the cheap slop that they are being forced to consume that is super unhealthy for them. While we have our cake. It's fine. Everything's fine. We are the peasants, by the way.
And of course, the consequences behind this federal government shutdown that we're all dealing with at the expense of greedy ass fucking Republicans, you understand, is never ending. It's never fucking ending. As a direct result of the federal government shutdown, the reports that us Americans rely heavily on, the reports such as recession indicator, changes in the unemployment rate, you understand, changes in inflation, all of those are delayed. Everything is fucking delayed. Everything. So now, today, it's damn near the end of the month. Today is October 24th. We are now receiving the results of the recession indicator of the inflation rate increases of September. And as you can clearly see, right, the consumer price index showed that inflation rose at a 3% annual rate, a pace last hit in January. And I know how a certain political group loves to scream fake news, fake news. So guess what? One of your favorite media outlets, Fox News, also reported it. But see, the way that Fox News decided to bring forth the information to their viewers, to their audience, was in a way that was very misleading. Misleading, if you ask me. See, Fox News has a habit of telling the news that should make you worried in a way where you don't feel any pressure, feel any stress. And the information that you shouldn't be stressing out over, those are the ones that they use to invoke fear. And the way that Fox News decided to tackle this task of informing the American people of what's going on with the American economy was touching on the fact that the Hamburger Helper sales have actually surged. But they decided to put a spin on it, make it seem like it's a good thing that people are relying on fucking TV dinners. Let's watch, shall we?
One trend and True Brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales. Harris, I grew up on the cheeseburger Hamburger Helper, and it was very good with the extra cheese sprinkled on top.
So my mom used to look for new ways to jazz it up. She'd put in like cumin in there. She'd put in a little garlic powder, some chopped up celery. She was just trying to make that Hamburger Helper, just stretch it and make it really good. I grew up on it too. It's delicious.
Fancy Hamburger Helper.
Well,
My mom
was
did put the
fancy.
cumin in. Emily.
We loved it so much. So we would do the macaroni and cheese and then add in like a can of vegetables and then tuna. So it was like, yes.
Wow.
And it's
They're
so
really
good. I feel
trying
like
to
even
make
like
it
when I
seem-
saw this on the rundown, it like immediately, I'm now craving this. I'm probably going
Like,
to have
this
it for
is the
dinner
good-
tonight just so everyone knows because I too love it and grew up with it and it's so yummy. It's such good comfort food.
Memories.
The high protein Hamburger Helper.
I know you guys aren't trying to make it seem like this is a good thing, that this is something that is good, that the American people have now had to revert back to something that was considered as necessary in the 1970s because of the great inflation. You understand? As something that is, it's great. We're all going back to our comfort food. No, people are trying to fucking eat. Let's even look at how they posted the article on their website, right? Hamburger Helper sales surge as Americans tighten budgets and seek cheap filling meals. Underneath that, shoppers shift to meals that stretch further without sacrificing comfort. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? If you have to rely on canned foods and fucking TV dinners to feed your family, that's you sacrificing fucking comfort. You've sacrificed fucking comfort, okay? And for you to try to make it seem to the audience that you understand, are heavily in support of this man that's literally fucking up their lives, instead of allowing them to be able to take in the information and see that it's something that they need to be worrisome of, you're trying to spin it and make it seem like it's something that they don't even need to acknowledge at all until shit gets too fucking bad. And then what can they fucking do? What can they fucking do? Crazy thing about it is New York Times actually reported this same exact story a month prior, and their headline is very different. Hamburger Helper sales rise as Americans try to stretch their food dollars, right? The price of beef and other grocery items are climbing, and consumers are turning to canned meats and a 1970s staple. You see how the two differ? One, Fox News makes it seem like this is a great thing. We're all just trying to go back to what we always used to love and we grew up on. Whereas New York Times is like, y'all, shit is getting bad. We're reverting back to 1970s when we had to actually rely on fucking canned goods to eat. And at this point, you already know that I love a good highlight session. Let's read along. In the 1970s, Hamburger Helper became a staple on American dinner tables as families strained by inflation and soaring beef prices looked to turn a pound of ground beef into an entire meal. While most food companies are seeing declines in consumer demand for their products, sales of Hamburger Helper are up 14.5%. And it's not just Hamburger Helper. Sales of foods commonly purchased by consumers when financial times get tough are on the rise, according to industry analysts. Purchases of rice are up 7.5% this year. Distressed shoppers are also buying more cans of tuna, salmon, and sardines. The whole TikTok trend with the Korean tuna. Sales of beans, boxes of macaroni, and cheese are also strong, based on data from the research firm Circana. And this is going to be the last of the highlighting session, right? So the cost of living expenses are up. Eating and drinking expenses are up, right? Says Sally Loynes Wyatt, who advises packaged food companies for Circana. Consumers are looking for foods that fill them up for the least amount of money. That's a very different take to what Fox News is reporting to everybody, talking about, oh, yeah, let's just go back to our comfort foods. No, there's a reason why people are going back to that fucking 1970s staple, and you need to tell the people why. This is the exact type of situation that causes the distrust between our media and the audience. This is the reason why a lot of us are now reliant on creators like myself to actually get the news. It's because the people whose job it is to inform us of what's going on is not actually doing that. They're choosing to beat around the bush instead of letting us know straight on, head on, this is what the fuck you guys are facing. Because in all honesty, I don't care how you spin it. Americans having to rely on TV dinners to fill their stomachs is not an indication of a prospering economy. Okay, it's an indication that we're all failing, that the economy is failing, that we are literally stuck in this game of this or that. We have to pick this or that because the option of both is no longer available. So while the people over at Fox News, while the people, the supporters of this particular political party is screaming fake news, you need to point the fingers at yourselves because you guys are the ones that are spreading the fake news. Tell the people, tell the audience what the fuck is really going on in the country that they live in. Thank you.
They're laughing at you on your news station. Like, I just watched Fox News air a clip about the fact that Hamburger Helper has made its way back to like a big seller, apparently. And they're laughing at you because the idea that we eat Hamburger Helper in this country, and don't tell me you love it. Of course you do. It brings back childhood nostalgia. Everybody loves it. But what's inside that box is everything that's wrong with every food product that is made in this country. It is all inside that box. And they are on TV telling you, oh, go us. We brought back Hamburger Helper. And that just means we're poor. They're literally looking at you going, you guys are so poor. You guys brought back Hamburger Helper. That is not, that's embarrassing. Other countries, this is what we're talking about. We are regressing. We are going back to Hamburger Helper because we're so poor. They're laughing.
It was a dinner-time staple from the 1970s. Hamburger Helper was a budget-friendly way to feed the entire family. Now, with the price of beef at an all-time high, families are reaching for Hamburger Helper to help stretch their dollars. 15% in the past year, as the price of ground beef has gone up 11%.
We have the highest price of ground beef ever. It's up to $6.31 a pound. Steaks, for example, are up to about $14 a pound. So what people are looking to do is they're looking to stretch their budget and, frankly, to stretch the meat.
Chef Jeffrey Eisner is showing me some inexpensive ways to make Hamburger Helper healthier.
You want to put that spinach in right now, it's going to wilt right away. Put some frozen veggies in there if you want. It's already pre-cut for you, save some time.
If you want some extra flavor, add salsa.
Oh, look at that!
A great way to make the beloved Hamburger Helper new again.
So, you know, Hamburger Helper is not the problem. The problem is that it has turned into the main course for so many American families because they can't afford nice meals. And when Fox News media comes and tells people and shows them as if Hamburger Helper is a good meal, yet even many are saying, as you have heard in the videos, like it is unhealthy. It's not even the correct meal. It's not even a good meal. So people are opting to eat because it fits their budget. That shows how Trump policies has made so many Americans struggle because they can't afford groceries, they can't afford beef, they can't afford eggs, they can't afford so much, and that's why they are opting to take Hamburger Helper. And many people are really struggling because, as you've heard the stories of people, some are saying that it was one of the meals that the poor actually used to take in the 1970s. And right now, it's not about the poor. It's like most of the Americans are opting to take it because they can't afford, because of the inflation crisis. So Trump policies have really brought a lot of hardship to the many Americans. And so many people are furious because of this. Fox News, instead of asking people why they are opting Hamburger Helper instead of good meals, they are praising it. And media should show light to people. It should show, that angle whereby people are struggling to survive, but it can't show that. It is showing the other side of Hamburger Helper, and that's why so many people are furious. And that's why we are asking you the question. So what do you think when people turn to Hamburger Helper? Is it a sign of American resilience, or is it showing how people are struggling because of the hard economic times in America? So guys, kindly comment down there, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching up to this far.